Hi everyone. Welcome. Today we are doing IV hydration today. I'm very excited to have Kimble back with us. We've done IV hydration now several times, and this is a phenomenal course. It's a huge hit. The nurses are all, what they're doing is absolutely amazing. We're so excited to bring this to you. So Kimble, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Yes, it is a fantastic course. I've thoroughly enjoyed each cohort and helping people get their business going. It just really fuels me, and I get so excited when we start talking about it. So I'm happy to be here once again with everyone.
Yep, awesome. So what we're going to do is talk about some stuff that you need to know about starting IV hydration, if this is the right type of business model for you. And then at the end, we'll tell you how you can work with Kimble and the team to do what it is that you see not only Kimble doing, but what our nurses are doing. The students that have gone through this program, they've done some pretty amazing stuff, Kimble. You've done an amazing job with them.
Thank you. Yes, they have. They have been fantastic.
So put your questions in the chat box. As I'm kind of going through some of these slides, Kimble's going to be answering questions in real time, so be sure to put them in there in the chat box, and we'll take them as we go, and then we'll have an open Q&A at the end, and you can ask us anything. Well, related to IV hydration. Let's keep that narrow. All right. All right, so if you want to start your own IV hydration clinic without the struggle of putting all the pieces together, because that is a big part of this, when you have that epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I want to start a business, what are those first things that you need to do? What are the first steps that you want to take? Because ultimately, IV hydration, it is, even though we take it for granted, it's just fluids, but it's still a medication, and your license as a nurse is on the line. So you definitely want to do this the right way and not just kind of jump into things without really knowing if you're able to do it or what you're able to do. So will you succeed? You've heard statistics that 95% of businesses never get off the ground, and I think that's for the most part because they weren't serious. They had some mindset blocks. They weren't sure that they could do it, and they didn't know those first steps to take. So first thing everybody thinks about, like, oh, I'm just going to draw this logo and then I'm in business, or oh, I'm going to create the LLC or make a website. But that's not starting a business. That's doing stuff, and it's actually kind of expensive to do that stuff, but that's not getting your business off the ground. And that's what we really want to help you to do. IV hydration itself, this is a slam dunk idea. This is such a popular concept. It works. I mean, this is something Kimble, I know you were an OR manager, so maybe you might have frowned upon this, but as providers, we used to, help each other out with IV fluids because it worked, right? Like, it's a really great treatment, especially if you're not feeling so good for whatever reason. But it gave you that pick-me-up, and it's a really popular thing that we've done over the years, over the decades in the hospital system, that's now coming out to the general public, and they love it, right? They love having this ability to, because previously, like, you would go to the ED and say, I'm really dehydrated, and then you get like a $10,000 bill for it. And now they actually come to your home, and you get this, and it's amazing. All right, so if you've ever tried to start a business before, but it didn't go anywhere, it's not your fault. That happens, and that happened to me. Kimble, I don't know if this has happened to you, but I remember like having very detailed conversations with people. This is what we're going to do. We wrote it all down, came up with a plan, and then everything just kind of like nothing went anywhere. Does that ever happen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, maybe not everybody was serious. Two, maybe they didn't believe that they could do it. And three, there was just, sometimes we just need permission to move forward with things. Like, can we do this? Is this something that I can do? And that's what a program like this is designed to do. It's designed to walk you step by step through the business aspects of setting up a business, all the formulas, the contracts you need, all that kind of good stuff that we're going to talk about, but also to say, this is okay. Like, you as a nurse, you as an associate's degree nurse, a PhD nurse, an LPN nurse, whatever type of nurse you are, you have the permission to do this, to move forward with a business like this. And it's really, really exciting. So a lot of your businesses will eventually come down to marketing, which we'll talk about, and just being able to understand that. And marketing is a very broad term too. People get PhDs in marketing, and even in that, it's a massive, massive umbrella. So we want to, bring that down for everybody so that you're not trying to do 1 million things, that you're just trying to do step 1, 2, and 3 first and foremost. So we want to teach you how to get set up in this type of business by reducing overwhelm, helping you to feel confident in your approach, discovering various different business models, which I think is really exciting, and we'll talk about, and learn how to make more money. And even just having sent this invitation out to watch this webinar, I had a few people email me and say, can I make money? Can I make money fast on this? And Kimble, we'll talk about your story in a minute. But I mean, you were able to make money fairly quickly in IV hydration, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When I first started, we were mobile, and so you don't need as much stuff to get started when you're mobile. So yeah, just purchase of a few things, and immediately you're making money. I mean, with the first client, if you're not too excited like I was and almost to take their money, then yes, you will make money.
But that's part of the mindset blocks, and that's like a big part of it too, because I had that experience as well, where I put an offer out there, and then when people tried to give me money, I was like, no, I don't want you do it for free. And so that's why you need support and a community around you. But what got you here? You're a nurse. You're able to put IVs in. You know how IV fluids work. You understand the whole concept of this. But what got you here won't necessarily get you to where you want to go, because the business aspect is something new. It's not something that they teach in nursing school. This is a specialty, guys. Being an entrepreneur is a specialty of nursing, and I think we need to approach it like that. Like, you don't expect to go into the critical care and be an expert in critical care just because you're a nurse. No, you have to learn that specialty, and it's the same thing with entrepreneurialism. You have to learn the specialty and learn the guidelines that you need to help you to move forward. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Katie Harris, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs, and we are here with Kimble Walters Bradley, who is owner of IV Hydration Nation and Concierge Elite Nurses. Kimble, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and how you set up your business?
Sure, yes. So as you mentioned, I am the owner and founder of Elite Concierge Nurses and IV Hydration Nation. And so my business, the hydration business, is fantastic. It's booming. I'm so proud of it. I've gone from being a mobile business to now a brick and mortar, and doing a little bit of concierge with that as well. So it's just growing in all types of fashions. So I have experience on both the mobile side and the brick and mortar side now, which is great to be able to teach this to someone else, because trust me, there were learning curves and growing pains with it. So I'm super excited to be able to share what I've learned.
Right. And your first intro, because you started out in concierge nursing, and we were building that business first. Mm-hmm. And then one of the things that happened to you was that somebody said, hey, can you do IV hydration?
Yes.
And were you an IV hydration business at that point?
No, I was not. Okay. So yeah, I got approached with this idea from a gym. It was fantastic. I wanted to do it anyway, but I didn't think I could afford to do it. I thought it cost so much money to get that going. How can I afford to do that? Didn't have a doctor. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a clue. Right. So when I was asked to do this, and I just said, sure, yes, I can do this. Yes. And thinking all along to myself, what in the world am I saying? I have no clue, but I'm going to figure it out. And they didn't know that. They thought, oh, well, great, she can do it. Let's do it. And about 5 weeks later, I was doing it. Okay. Right. Yeah. So what's supposed to have been 3 to 6 months ahead, I was doing it in 5 weeks. So yeah, I got kind of pushed into it really fast.
And that's nice, though. It's nice to get pushed into doing things, because sometimes we get hung up on the, oh, can I do this? Or I'm going to fix my website first. I mean, did you even have a website?
I did not. I didn't have a website. I had the basic essentials. When I got started, when I did my first hydration, I had enough supplies to do a few hydrations. I had a doctor and I had some paperwork that I could chart things and write things and have them sign and, to cover my tail. But that's really about it. And I had one little friend nurse that said, I can help you if you want me.
One little friend nurse. And you know what's good about that, good and bad. So all of this stuff happening fast is a blessing and a curse, if you will, because it was a blessing to bring money in quickly, but on the downside of that, there were a lot of things that, Kimble had left herself open because she didn't know what she didn't know. Right. And that's where something like this becomes really, really important, because we can help you move really, really fast, but you don't want to take chances with your license or worry about whether you've covered all your bases in case something does go wrong. All right, and you were a busy OR supervisor. I remember when I met you, you were working 5 days a week, like 12, 14 hours a day, and then you were also doing work on Sundays to catch up.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I was, and being a supervisor, if anybody knows anything about the OR, you're always taking call, right? So I was on call 24/7. And I was literally just at their beck and call every day, all day. I mean, it doesn't matter. At church, at dinner, my time was not my own. So yeah, it was horrible.
Right. But you were still able to open an IV hydration business.
I was determined to. So it worked. You make it work.
You make it work. Okay. Yes. So the business setup is straightforward enough, but without systems in place, you can easily burn out. And I do remember one time, Kimble, you called me and you're like, I don't think I can keep doing both of these things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it will burn you out. So that's why we're here, so that doesn't happen to the next
right.
To come to.
And what happened to that OR job?
Oh, I am no longer the OR supervisor. I do not. and I have so much less stress. Like, I'm so happy putting all of my energy into my own business instead of giving it to them, and I mean, I love them. They're great, but no, I don't want that. You couldn't pay me enough to take that job back. So I spend most of my time working on my own businesses, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so your marketing and your relationships, because in order for Kimble to do her busy OR job and launch this business, she definitely needed relationships. She needed her friend nurse to help her out. So if you can have these pieces in place and your medical director, then you are going to be set. IV hydration complements a lot of businesses as well. It's a great add-on, and it's also it's a great add-on, and it's a great way to
increase revenue.
Increase revenue and work with other nurses as well, or other businesses in your area, like med spas. So if you're not a med spa, like, this is a great way to do that. It's a great complement to my son's coming in now. A great complement to concierge nursing, a lot of different ways to make this work. All right, so how to get started in IV hydration, and what are you really getting into? Because it's not just about starting IVs and making money. There's some really basic things that we need to understand. One, that the IV hydration business can generate money quickly as a standalone or an addition. Two, that the business is largely dependent on your ability to develop relationships with other people, whether it's partners, whether it's medical directors, your nursing, your team, again, other businesses, and your clients. Like, you have to be willing to interact with people. This is not something that you do from behind a computer and hope that it goes well. Most of the business that came from Kimble, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kimble, but it came from you interacting with other businesses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Once you start building those relationships, they all start to intermingle. So the gym went to the chiropractor went to other people that I know, doing other businesses. And I'm telling you, it's just like a wild weed. You start connecting them and it just grows like crazy. Yeah.
Right. And a slam dunk idea like IV hydration, it doesn't exist in a bubble. It will require some marketing, but your marketing can be just word of mouth and local marketing, and that's what Kimble does. And we'll talk about that as well. So, yes, IV hydration can generate money quickly. There does tend to be a high profit margin between the drips and the amount that's paid, in addition to the labor costs that you have. You do profit from the first bag. And in places where there are a lot of other IV hydration businesses that already exist, so let's say you live in Las Vegas, this might be, there's a lot of IV lounges, but there's a lot of niches that you could go into that are not tapped into at all, right? So a pregnant woman with hyperemesis isn't going to go to the drip lounge bus with all the hangovers. Like, it's just, they wouldn't feel comfortable there, right? So that could be something. The oncologist, they partner with IV hydration as well. So do you want to talk about some of these different forms? We have mobile clinics, just other niches that you could pop into.
Oh, yeah. Like you mentioned, the chemo patients, they definitely need IV hydration, and high dose vitamin C is a great treatment for chemo patients, people with Lyme disease. You have athletes, of course, you can, partner up with health clubs or gyms or groups like the Spartan racers, who do the obstacle course trainings. They love IV hydration. It gives them more stamina, and it gives them, more strength and endurance. Also, people like chiropractors' offices, they love this. Acupuncturists absolutely love this. They even have different ways of wanting you to put your B12 in different IM muscles that you normally wouldn't do. I mean, I've learned so much from the acupuncturists. So it's fantastic. And just making the relationships with the salons. I mean, they want you to come and actually do IV hydration while they're getting massages or getting their hair done under the dryer, or there are so many things that you can do. And you can
that
do.
Sounds extravagant.
Yes, I mean, I've seen so much, and I've done so much that I never even thought about on day one. So it's just endless possibilities. And yes, to have like a space, you have here rent a space, to rent a space in a wellness center or clinic or something that's synergistic with what you're doing is nothing but fantastic. I mean, seriously, because you guys can refer clients to each other. You're all under the same roof. You become one big family, and everybody see you there together. So they're all wanting to try everything that's there. So it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that family, like, in the hospital, one of the things that we like is that kind of family orientation. But yeah, if you rent a space in some kind of collective, that becomes like a nice little family, and you're all like doing really well together, which is nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And you can certainly niche into like weddings. If you're in an area where there's lots and lots of weddings, maybe you live in Savannah and, everybody's down there for weddings. We have a nurse down here in Mexico who does the Tulum and tourism track, and she makes a killing. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I wish I had my license in Mexico, because it's ridiculous how well she does. And she meets like international stars. She's had lots of Hollywood people or international actors and actresses, because they all come to Tulum. So she's really into the party event niche. Kimble had mentioned oncology, but there's also neurology, like headache patients.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the headache market, that's huge, because usually they go into the ED and they get their bolus fluid, and then they get a bill for $10,000. Imagine, you just went over their house when they had a migraine and gave them the formula for headache management using this, because it's huge. Hotels, people that fly, they always tell you to drink lots of fluid, and some people drink the wrong type of fluid while they're on the plane, and by the time they get to their hotel, they're severely dehydrated. So having this type of access, or partnering with hotels, or being associated with them, is also a very powerful way. Casinos, if you can get into them, they tend to be a little harder to get into, but it's also a great idea. IV hydration can easily function as a niche, standalone business, a pop-up clinic, a mobile clinic. You can add it to a current business. If you already own a concierge nurse business, this is something that you can do. If you own, oh my gosh, like there's so many med spas. This is perfect for a med spa. And there's just like Kimble's mentioning, wonderful opportunities to partner with other people, and it gives you a reason. Like people are so excited. Like Kimble, how excited are people when you tell them that you do IV hydration for a business?
Oh yeah, they want to know so much about it. I mean, it's it just blows my mind the number of people that I get calls from that message me on social media, that if I'm out and I have it on my car, on the back of my car, I get people pulling up to me like in the parking lot wanting to talk about it at the grocery store. I mean, it's unbelievable, the interest in it. A lot of people are still really learning about it, but even the ones that really know about it get really excited, because they know what a great benefit it is. So I get all types of attention about this, all questions. Yeah.
And because it works too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So then the second part of this is about building relationships, because your business isn't anything without relationships. Again, like maybe if you develop software or apps or something for a living, you can do that in the comfort of your home behind a computer. But this type of business, and I want to be very clear about this, it's about your ability to create and sustain these long-term relationships. So, and you already have a network. As a nurse, you have an extensive network that you can start with. And I've had Kimble nurses in the past that are almost apologetic because they got their first clients from people that they know, and I'm like, no, that's exactly what you do. You go out to people that you know first.
Yes, those are the best clients, the ones that you know.
They're like, but it doesn't really count because I know them. I'm like, no, it definitely counts. They trust you, they know you, and you trust you. And imagine if a lot of people knew and trusted you, how successful this business would be. So do you want to talk a little bit about the role of the medical director, pharmacists, nurses on your team, and who you work with?
Sure, yes. So I'll start with the medical director. Yeah, you definitely, if you're in a state that's, unrestricted, or that's restricted, I'm sorry, then you definitely need a medical director if you're a nurse, not a practitioner that's, able to practice independently. You definitely have to have a medical director. They have to oversee your clinic, not necessarily be on site. That's, state dependent, but they definitely oversee what's going on there, mainly by signing off on your orders every month. So that's their main job. There's a few other things that they do, but that is the main job of the medical director, to make sure those orders get signed off, because you are giving medication, and if you're a nurse, you need a doctor for that. So, and other nurses that work with you, they're registered nurses, or LPNs can do it, but they have to have an IV certification course before they can actually work in a clinic like this, but they can do it as well. Your pharmacists are fantastic because they consult with you about formulas and dosages for those formulas. And if you want to create, custom ones for different reasons, they're really great to consult with about those type of things. They can tell you what mix well together and what don't, and those type of things. And so that's a great team right there to put together. You definitely have somebody to stick, somebody to sign your orders, and somebody to advise you on what to give. So yeah.
So is this something, and I imagine this could go many ways, but is this something that you could do all by yourself? Like you're the only person and you do all the IV hydration stuff? Like could it be a one nurse business?
I mean, it can start out that way. I guess that it'll be difficult, but you can start out that way. Maybe first week or two, or until your name gets out there. But you'll need a little bit of help as you get going, unless you control the business to the point where you don't want to take more customers, and that's going to be painful. I mean, people want this stuff. And so the more they find out about you, the more clients you're going to get, then the more you're going to need help. So,
right. And the funny thing is that, when people want to buy something, and this is something that people want to buy, if you don't sell it to them, they get angry. Like, they get really upset.
Yes, they do.
I've had that in previous courses where we shut down enrollment and I got like nasty emails about how I took away something from them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I didn't realize, like, when you offer something and then cut it off, like, people get upset. So if you're only open like on Saturdays at 2 and people want it, they're going to put a lot of pressure on you to keep it open.
Absolutely. They don't want you to have 3 days closed.
Yeah. So, and how do we go about finding medical directors and establishing a relationship with that person?
Okay. Well, there are a few ways that you can do it. So definitely you can put something out there on Indeed. You can ask around if you are in a hospital or in an area where you have really great experienced doctors that you trust, and you have those relationships already. You could talk to doctors that you already know, ER doctors, anesthesiologists. They love it. They love this kind of stuff. And then, in the course, we try to do some matching of some things with doctors. So we have some ways that we can possibly match you up with the doctor. So
yeah,
and
that's been a big point, because there was a point that the nurses and some of the nurse practitioners who take the course, they're in restricted states, so they need a medical director. But they've been asking us for medical directors, so we've done some extensive searching for them. We do have one medical director that is the medical director for many of our nurses across many states, but we're also working with another group right now, so that a group of doctors that are very interested in working with nurses, and they are entrepreneurially inclined, right? They're not, because not every doctor can do this, right?
Right. Right. No, not every
share of.
Some doctors just want to collect and not really do any work at all. And it is minimal work that they're doing. Like I said, it's mostly signing off the orders, but they are the highest, educated person on your team. So they would be responsible for quite a few things. But you would actually make those things happen. They're just an overseer. But there are some that don't even want to do that. So then you have to get rid of them and get somebody that might actually oversee your business. But in those contracts, that's exactly what you want to make sure that you put in the contracts. Who's responsible for what, and who's going to be doing what, who's overseeing this, where the responsibility lie. Okay, and that needs to be spelled out perfectly clear. And then I'm going to just answer this question: how much do you pay? It's on there. You figure your budget. Okay. And then you decide what you can pay. Never ask them how much, would you charge me? Never ask them that.
5,000 a month. They'll come up with outrageous numbers. It's crazy.
Absolutely. It's always going to be way too much. So you have to figure that into your budget. Usually it starts somewhere around $500, I think, especially for a new business. But, it depends on what you need from them and your budget.
Right. And they'll understand that as well, because, when they see a new business getting ready to launch, they're looking like a year down the road, and, they're seeing money signs. So they don't want you to go under in the first 6 months by like suffocating you. And if they do, then please run away from that medical director. So yeah, and you can do sliding scale stuff. There's all kinds of different ways that we can negotiate with the medical directors. And again, that's what we're working on as a group, and using collective power with these collaborating docs that want to work with us. So we're negotiating price, fair market value. It's such a thing, but for this so that it's a win-win for everybody, because they are ultimately putting their license on your business. So again, that comes back to that relationship with that person, and they have to be able to trust that you're not going to do crazy wild things with their license.
Right.
So Regina, she's one of our students, and she went through like in record time. She had her program, her business launched before the course was over. We did her website and we did her logo. She partnered with our medical director, and she did extremely well to create her business. And also, what you want to do is you don't want to worry about, the formulas and scaling too fast. And how you're going to pull all this off. But you just want to make sure that you are partnering with the right people. So again, if you want to put your questions in the chat box, Kimble, for you, on the top right, there's a comment section. Yeah. So do you see the comments there?
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a box to type to respond to them.
Oh.
I see the comments. I just don't have a response box for some reason. I have one in the private chat.
Oh yeah, so there should be an option to like switch it out to everyone.
Yes, it says private chat, and then it says comments, and I see the comments, but there's no box to respond.
All right, well, at the end,
I don't know.
So keep the questions coming in, and we will answer them all. So. Yes, marketing will also be a key factor in your business success. It's the lifeblood of any business, and it is vital to your success. So please, please, please do not underestimate the amount of time that you're going to need to spend building relationships. Again, and I did this years ago, back in like 2010. I decided I was going to do an IV hydration business, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I put it together like this website, bought like 10,000 brochures. I don't know if you know what 10,000 brochures looks like, but oh my God. When that showed up at my house, my neighbors were like, what is she doing? But anyway, and I was just like, I got all these brochures, but nobody's calling me. And, it sounds really dumb, but you have to hand out the brochures, right? But I made it so difficult for myself. And ultimately closed up that idea, and I'm like, oh, nobody's going to want IV hydration. So yeah, I missed out on that. I should be doing this course. But anyway,
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, and then again, whether you're brick and mortar or you're concierge or events or you're doing other opportunities, selecting a niche will help you. It becomes your dominant stream of income, right? So if you have your dominant stream of income, let's say, is weddings, then you focus most of your marketing on weddings. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do the 50 other groups that you want to do. It's just that when your marketing is kind of all over the place and you're just a general IV hydration company, then you don't really speak to anybody specifically. So wedding planners aren't going to come to you because they don't think you specialize or they don't think you understand weddings. And you might be like the mega wedding party planner or whatever. But if that's not reflected in your marketing, then they might pass you by. So it helps to choose a dominant stream, like a dominant marketing area niche, and then you can do the other ones as well. In terms of marketing, the things that we suggest, that personal contact, I've had lots of nurses say, how do I market this business? But personal contact, we encourage you to create a list of 50 people that you want to focus on, whether it's 50 wedding planners, 50 gyms, 50, lawyer offices, 50 oncologists, whatever it is. And get their name, email, address, and just go after them. Not after them, but get in front of them. How can I help you? What do you need? What can I do for you? Type of thing. It's an ask, not a, hey, here's my business, call me. You really want to develop a relationship, and you start by giving in relationships, not taking from them. Then you can put together your collateral, brochures, magnets. I thought that was a brilliant idea. The woman down here in Mexico, that's what she did. She created magnets and put them on car doors. Yeah. and people use that. I have one on my refrigerator. That's one of the ways we met her, because I was like, oh, look at this, a nurse. She's in business down here in Mexico, and
Yeah.
got in touch. Direct mail, you can mail postcards, market education, you can go to these health fairs, be a radio guest, your website, social media, that can all come. Local SEO, do you want to talk a little bit about local SEO?
Sure, I do. So definitely things like Google My Business and Yelp are great to use for local SEO, so search engine optimization. So these things will help you get on the front page of an internet search, okay? And that's where you want to be, on the front page, because most people don't go past the front page when they're looking for something that they need. So signing up with the, Google My Business and the Yelps and those type of things definitely put you, for your area, at the top of the list. So when someone searches, IV hydration near me, there your business is going to pop up there, and we'll teach you about all of that.
Yeah, and that's really, really important. And the other thing that you can do, especially with like Instagram and Facebook, is that you have a presence there. You use that to connect with your Dream 50 list, right? So if you that there's these yoga businesses and you want to connect with them, while you put some stuff on your Instagram and then start DMing, sharing, liking, commenting on the yoga website, and they say, oh, look, there's an IV hydration clinic in town. Like, maybe we can do something with Kimble. And that is a very powerful way to do your local marketing. These are some of the brand boards and websites that we've been doing for students. These are just different colors and one group that we've done. These are some of Kimble's students that we've done their business cards for them, and they're gorgeous. It's so fun to do this kind of stuff. The Instagram, we've helped them to set up their Instagram accounts so that they look professional, and you don't have a problem. Like, if your Instagram account looks like this, and this is Regina's on the left, if this is what your Instagram account looks like, you're like hot to DM people and share, because you're proud of what your Instagram looks like. Whereas I was talking to a nurse earlier, and we were going to do something, and she had me connect with her on Instagram, and I'm like, you have a ghost photo. First of all, I'm like, no, we can't do anything on Instagram. You fix this.
Right.
Yeah, I have to fix the Instagram account before I'm going to send anybody there, because that's not looking very professional. And then it gives people that kind of queasy feeling, like, oh, she's amateur, or she doesn't know what she's doing, or she's going to disappear and fold away, right? Like, you wouldn't go to Coca-Cola's Instagram and see like a ghost picture and no post like that.
Right.
So you have to be professional about what you're putting out there.
Absolutely.
So once everything's in place, your sole focus becomes this marketing and letting people know that you exist. And there's a fine line there between letting people know that you exist and harassing them. So just make sure you walk that, because you want to do good marketing, and good marketing is not sleazy marketing. It's not spamming people. It's not harassing them. It's building a relationship, and you as a nurse know what that looks like. And the one thing that I really want to stress here is that when you come into business, we need you to retain your nursiness, your nursing instincts. Like, don't try and change into like a business person. Your ability to be a nurse and work as a nurse is your biggest asset in business, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we're going to do is talk about the IV hydration course that Kimble has, and then we'll start answering questions that are in there. So this is the course that we have. It's called the IV Hydration Mastermind. And Kimble, as you've met, she runs the IV Hydration Nation in Tennessee, and is very successful, has multiple locations. What she does is help you with content expertise, setting up your business, and then scaling, because that's what you need. Unlike other products, we help you with the business, but we help you to scale as well. So the first thing that we have is an on-demand course with access to all the modules. So this gives you sufficient time to set up business with Kimble's expertise. She provides the expertise in the modules on demand. You get them all at once. So if you only need to cherry pick through some of them because you have almost everything, but you just need a few things, you can do that. But you'll never be lost or stuck of what to do. And we will help make sure that you implement the right way the first time. because you don't want to have to backtrack and fix this stuff, which can be very, very painful.
And costly.
And costly. It can cost a lot of money. It can cost your license. It can cost a lot of things. So make sure you do it the right way. Formulas, templates, waivers, contracts. These are all the things that you need. These are things that the nurses really want to get their hands on. We will give you those formulas so that you can get started. We do recommend starting with just a handful of formulas to start, and then you can expand all you want. That's part of the scaling aspect of this. But what you don't want to do is get overwhelmed with buying like 15 different medications, and then some of these medications expire, right, Kimble?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do have a life on them. So absolutely.
So you only want to buy what you need, and that's what we can help you to do with the first couple of formulas that you put together. The local marketing. So this, again, is a vital aspect of it, and you need this. So Kimble, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do talk about in the program in terms of marketing?
Yeah, I do. I go over all of the setup for the Google My Business and the Yelp. I do talk a lot about the Facebook marketing, and we do some Instagram marketing setup as well. There are so many ways to market. I also talk about some out of the box kind of marketing, like ambassadors for your business and some different things like that people don't always think about, when it comes to marketing. The social media, everybody thinks about that, business cards, brochures, building collateral for your business. We talk a lot about that, but not a lot of people think about what being a sponsor for a person like a Miss Tennessee, or having an ambassador from a gym or somebody that's really popular be an ambassador for your business, and what that entails and how that can help you. So we talk quite a bit about that.
Or all of your car decals and all that kind of good stuff.
Stickers on the back of your car. I do talk about that as well, and how you shouldn't pull over in front of people and cut them off, because they will you. And so that really works, because I do have it on the back of my car, and I do have car decals on the side. So magnets, they do work. They work really well. So yeah, I do talk about that as well in the course.
Awesome. Concierge nursing, this is another business that you can pair up with IV hydration, and we absolutely have a couple of our it goes both ways. Sometimes the IV hydration nurses want to be concierge nurses as well. And a lot of the concierge nurses want to add IV hydration because you can do perioperative therapy, which is a really awesome idea as well. So Kimble has helped nurses to implement, because she does concierge nursing as well. She can help you on both sides of that coin.
Yes. Absolutely.
So unlimited access to course materials, updates, and community. So course is always evolving. This is not something we did 3 years ago and never touched again. It gets updated every couple of months with new material, new information. You have access to all of that. And the community, because the community is a big part of this, like knowing other nurses, having somebody to ask and say, hey, I need to know something. Can I do this? Or does anybody have a formula for this? Or does anybody know a pharmacist in this state? Or can you share a medical director? All that kind of stuff is talked about in the community, and it's huge, because you never want to be in business alone. You need a community, and that's what Kimble has created. And this is something that you can make your investment back very, very quickly. We also give you a sales funnel blueprint. So one of the things that you want to do is to be able to have the clients click a button, choose their drip, schedule their appointment, sign their waiver, pay you, sends you an email, and then maybe triggers an alert to your nurses and says, who wants this? And you didn't do a thing. You did nothing. Yes. All you did was check your bank account and go, woohoo, I'm going to dinner tonight, or going out. It's a really, really nice feeling, and that's what you want to automate. So we hired Sister Systems RN to create the blueprint for that, to show you exactly how to set up the sales funnel. She gives you the exact blueprint, and all you have to do is follow along with her in her short videos that will get it done for you. So we also help out with brand kits and collateral. So we have created many brand kits, and we have created website designs and logos specifically for IV Hydration. We're the only website company out there that works exclusively with nurses on nurse business ideas and topics. So we are very well in tune with what your business needs, and especially IV hydration. That brand is essential. You can certainly get away without a website in the beginning, but if you want to scale, this is something that you're going to need.
Yeah.
All right. So IV hydration, the on-demand course, formulas, templates, waivers, local marketing, community support, sales funnel blueprint, and that branding. This is an on-demand course, guys, and that is $997. Okay, so this is our business basic program. We do have another program for nurses that want additional coaching, and that's what I want to talk to you about, is the more intense coaching. We have the Business Basic Edition and the Business Pro Edition. And the Business Pro Edition, this is what is offered in addition to the Business Basic. It's 90 days of live coaching with Kimble. So she will be on calls with you twice a month for the pro members only, to answer any questions live, not in person, but on Zoom or whatever software she's using. You get a VIP call with Kimble, which is huge. And you can see the difference over here. So there's basic on the left and pro is on the right here. We created a marketing bundle for you, like the first steps, your 12-week plan, your blueprint for marketing, what you need to do. We will match you up with a medical director. We will set up your sales funnel. So in the basic version, you get the blueprint. In the pro version, you get it set up for you. And we also hook you up with our Instagram expert who did Regina's Instagram, which I showed you, and the other nurses' Instagram. He will walk you through exactly what it is that you need to do to set up the same thing for yourself. So those are the two different versions. Oh, I put these all like this. Okay. So, these are just some of the businesses that we have. Renika Storch, she did adaptive wellness. And we have Sally Payne, who did Restored IV with us. These are real businesses that are out there. Crystal Parker with her Savvy Beauty and Wellness. Tanya Fuller in South Carolina with Drip Pros IV. All went through our mastermind program and set up their businesses very, very quickly. Some people set them up in 90 days. Other people take a little bit longer, maybe 4 to 6 months. And then on the other side of the bell curve, people can take up 6 months to a year. Sometimes you just need that time. Family issues come up, all kinds of things come up. But the great thing is that the course material is here when you need it. So the two different programs here. So we wanted to be able to hit your price point and what you need out of a course. So if you just need the course and the formulas and the templates and contracts, then you can go with the Business Basic. That's really good for nurses who already have a business, and maybe they're just adding this on, or you've been through programs, and we've had lots of nurses come to our program and they've already taken an IV hydration course, but they didn't get what they needed. So, if you're just missing a few things that you need, then the Business Basic would be for you. Most nurses need the pro, all right? You need that coaching, you need the mentorship, you need that connection with Kimble to really move this forward. And Kimble, maybe you want to talk a little bit about the coaching and what's involved with it.
Oh, yeah, of course. So I really enjoy the coaching. It's amazing how I have all this experience and I'm keeping you guys from making all these huge mistakes that I made and saving you lots of money, okay, because mistakes cost, okay, is what I've learned. So that's just one part of it. But to interact and have group setting where you can come and you can ask the questions that you want. So yes, we'll review the module information if you have any questions about that. If you have questions that are not even in the module that you just happen to think of off the top of your head, I've heard some amazing questions that came in that I never thought of. We get it figured out for you. Or maybe everyone in the group was thinking it, but no one wanted to ask, but you have this one person that'll stand up and ask the question. So that is so valuable to spend that time with a group and to be able to hear, and the calls are recorded. Okay. So if you are at work during our coaching calls, you'll be able to review it later. Okay. And, with the one-on-ones, that coaching is absolutely valuable because I will focus directly on your business, your needs, your state, any questions that you have just for you, not including everyone. Okay. So you have two sides of the coin. Everyone's there. We get to hear it all. It's fantastic. It's helpful. We get to communicate with each other, bounce ideas off each other, see each other's things, share the wins that we have, right? Because when one of us do good, we all get excited because we all realize we can all do good, right? And then on the other side of the coin, we have that one-on-one where I'm in your corner. I'm going to fight with you every day. I want to see you start this business before the course is over. I love go live days. Okay. I feel like I should be there with you. So I am probably excited enough for both of us when it comes to these courses. So that's kind of what you get. You get my fuel and my energy if you need it. And I'm right there walking with you every step of the way.
Yeah, and they do need it, and it's one of those things that I'm always kind of torn with this because I know some people just want the content, but having done this for years, I know that you need the coaching. So we're going to leave that open to you. There will be an option if you want to upgrade later, but I would strongly encourage you to get in there now, and let's get the live coaching going. And again, you get everything in Business Basic with the Pro plus everything under the Pro. So it's the Business Basic plus live coaching, the VIP call with Kimble, the marketing bundle that we provide you, which is 12-week marketing strategy, the medical director matching. So if you don't know anybody, we're going to pair you up with somebody, the sales funnel setup that we will set up for you, and then the Instagram strategy with my Instagram expert who's been blowing people away with Instagram right now. So this is a huge opportunity to work with us in the mastermind at a fraction of the investment with quick wins. You will generate this money very quickly if you implement what we do. We certainly can't guarantee your success because that's out of our control. All we can do is give you the proven system to make this work. Most businesses want to charge you just for the information and then you put it all together yourself, but this is a combination where it can be done with you and done for you at it's a ridiculously low investment, honestly. So that's what we have. If you go to nursepreneurs.com/IV hydration, and we'll put this in the chat box as well, you will be able to see everything that's offered and then make your decision there. For the Business Pro, we do have a payment plan that you can use as well. So let me see what the issue is here with StreamYard. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So we don't have too many. All right. So do you recommend renting first or starting out in just mobile?
Yeah. So I did try to answer that, but it was in the other.
I know. I don't understand. I'll have to look later.
But I can tell you both can be done in the beginning. It's not I have to do one before the other, but it is easier. I've found that people find it easier to start the mobile one first because they don't need as much and the overhead is a lot less. So if you're concerned about the upfront money, that would save you money to get started that way. So that's what I recommend if that's one of your concerns.
Yeah, that would be my concern. I'd be scared to death, especially now with COVID, to set up a brick and mortar. So I'd want to get my feet wet in the mobile clinic first. And you can borrow other people's space. Kimble, that's what you did.
Yes.
you didn't start with the brick and mortar.
Absolutely not. No, the gym invited me over, and I would go on Thursday nights for them. And then eventually I started inviting my own people to their space. So it really worked out.
Right.
So, yes.
And they didn't even charge you, right?
No, they did not. No. Mm-mm.
Let's see. I'm going mobile. I need to know how to partner with an MD, need supplies in Atlanta area. Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, especially if you've gotten pretty close to it, the basic version would be probably good for you. Should you give percentage them? I'm assuming she means medical directors.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't recommend a percentage. I do not recommend a percentage because you're going to always lose when you do that. So I recommend a flat rate, and you look at your budget, you decide what you can pay, and you say, this is what I can afford at this time.
Right. And there's a good chance they're going to come after percentage because they're going to see when they see you're opening up an IV hydration, they're going to see dollar signs. Like that's all they see is dollar signs all over the place. And they're going to want a percentage of that. And, you need to be able to get rid of them too. So always think about an exit clause. Like, how do I get rid of this person if they don't do anything, if they're not giving what I need, or we just don't work well together? Like, this isn't a death to us do us part. This is a relationship that you should be able to cancel at some point. And there's more than enough doctors out there that will work for a flat fee.
Yes.
How long is the course? Where we live, we are seasonal and would like to get it up and running by Memorial Day weekend. Oh, I'd love to see that. I challenge you, Ashley. Yeah, it could be done. It definitely could be done. It's going to be a whirlwind, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. I did it. 5 weeks, and I was up and had my first client. So it can, but it's busy.
Yeah.
You're going to be busy. So
for that, I would definitely go pro because you're going to want to talk to Kimble fast.
Yeah. Yes.
In a state where an NP is not restricted, can they be your medical director?
Yes, if they're not restricted. They
can. Like Colorado. And we actually have nurses that we can hook you up with in not free states. What are they? Green states.
Yeah.
And we have nurse practitioners that have been through our program, so they know everything that Kimble's taught them.
Yes.
And they can serve as medical directors for you in those states, particularly like Colorado or Maryland. So let's see, what is concierge? Oh, I just threw that term around like everybody knew what it was.
So concierge is like, first of all, it's a luxury service. Okay, when you start talking concierge, you're talking luxury. You're not talking just home health or home visits or whatever. But it is taking your particular fantastic service to the person instead of them coming to you. It's taking your service to them, and you're taking it in a fashion where you're going to be charging a certain fee because it is concierge, okay? But when dealing with IV hydration, it's like your mobile service, okay?
Yeah, or like So or concierge. So going to the person's home, that would be like a concierge. Or going to their hotel room, that's a concierge. Yeah. Like when they come to you, it's different than when you go to them. It changes the dynamic of the relationship.
Yes.
Not only does the program go over setup and marketing to become successful businesses, but does the program go over some of the different formulations?
Yes, it does. We do cover formulas, strips for the drips. Yes, we cover all that. I give you all of mine, actually.
Marie says, can we pay for the contracts only without the course? Basically, you wouldn't be able to get the contracts for less than the price of the course. So I'm going to say no on that one. Is this offer only good for today? No. This is open. We're going to run this through Sunday. And then, sometimes, until Sunday. And that's when the emails and stuff will stop. So.
Yep.
Let's see. I have an MD for oversight. I want to do mobile in Atlanta. I want to target the rural and suburban area. How do I partner with a pharmacy that can help with supplies?
Oh, we teach you all about that in this course. There are pharmacies that ship your vitamins to you. I mean, you don't have to go there to pick them up. So we go over all the pharmacies. We have recommendations for who to use and how to get set up with them.
Yeah. And the site is here underneath. It's nursepreneurs.com/IV hydration. I just put that in the chat box as well. And everybody will get an email as well, just so that you have it in case you can't remember. And especially, it's hard to spell nursepreneurs, and I recognize that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a great course. We've had great success. We have videos, testimonials on that page, the nursepreneurs.com/IV hydration. Listen to them and see they're just regular nurses, just like Kimble and I were just regular nurses who just wanted to do something different.
There are a couple of more questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's one that asked about doing a market analysis since they live in Northeast Pennsylvania, where
I don't see that one. Oh, did I skip over that?
Clinics exist. Okay. I know there are some in that state because I know a couple of people there. So what you have to do is just deal with the ones that are closest to you. There's no way to do an analysis of that business if it's not, right at you. You just have to do it with the ones that are closest to you. Okay. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, and I mean, I live in the Philadelphia area normally, and I know there's City Hydration in Center City, and there's a couple other ones that were just really bad. I remember working with City Hydration, and we had called a couple of the clinics, and none of them responded back. They were awful. Like, so the bar was like really low. Like, all I had to do was show up, and it was like, so at some level, knowing how many businesses out there won't tell you what you need to know. So one of the ways that you can do a market analysis is make a list of all the IV hydration clinics, go on their websites, call them, set up an appointment, see how easy or hard it is, and you will see it's night and day.
Yeah.
But not only that, like I said earlier in the program, even if, let's say, you live in Vegas or New York or LA where things are saturated with general IV hydration clinics, you can still niche into something and go target oncologists, go target OB doctors, go target there's so many different, and Kimble talks about 100 different niches that you could target. That would be awesome. So it doesn't really matter, how many hydration clinics there are. If there's still people that are asking for it and something specific, then you'll do good.
You will. Yeah. And I did that exact same thing, Katie. I actually called in the area where I am and actually made a visit. And you're right. The bar was so low. I had no idea. And there were so few of them. So, it was an open area for me to just get going when I first got started. So there's a way to do that.
They took like 3 days to call us back. I'm like, well, I don't want it anymore. Like, forget it.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Which is so sad.
Yeah, but it's also, it's good news for you because just because there's a business out there doesn't mean it's doing well. And, all you have to do is improve on something like 10% and it can be a winner. Yeah. Just answering the phone. That's all you have to do is answer the phone.
Right. And like Katie said, even if there was one on every corner, there's an area that you can focus on that will still help you be successful. So you can pick a niche. So that's really important to know.
Also, I would say that sales funnel is really important because if that guy who took 3 days to call me back, can you imagine if all I had to do was click a button and the whole thing was scheduled, then I just show up or he shows up at my place and I get the IV? Like, that would have been so simple. Then there's no thinking. There's no well, no, I don't want it anymore. It's, oh, you're here. I forgot I ordered this. Like, great.
Yeah. Right. That's how my business is. I have everything automated. Like, you can go to my website, book your appointment. I get the message on my phone, on my computer. It's so easy. You show up or we show up and bam, it's done.
Yeah.
I take all the hard work out of it. So, yeah.
Somebody says, can I order vitamins as an RN?
If you have a doctor with you, if you have to have a medical director, and they will be on that paperwork at that compounding pharmacy that you order your vitamins from. So that gives you permission to put those orders in on behalf of your business and that doctor.
Okay. So, yes. I saw Ashley had asked about the hood. Do you want to talk about the hood a little bit?
Yeah. So everyone thinks that you have to have a hood, and you don't have to have a hood. However, there are guidelines that you have to follow. Okay. So there are workarounds for having a hood or not having a hood in your clinic. You do not absolutely have to have one to get by, with running an IV hydration business. So, okay.
Yeah, and those are the US 797 guidelines, and Kimble does go over those in her course.
We do. We go over all that in the course.
What do you typically charge for IV hydration? That's going to vary a lot.
It is going to vary. It's going to vary according to what state you're in, because, of course, the northern areas economy is higher, out west, California, Nevada, they're going to be a lot higher than they would be in Tennessee or Georgia. However, Georgia is probably running neck and neck with some of those. Yeah. So prices are going to vary according to your geographical area. Okay. But we'll help you to scale your drips according to, we'll do a little thing where we show you this is how much it costs for one drip. And then this is how much it's going to cost for the labor of starting that IV. And then this is how much you should charge for the drip.
Right. And then it also depends on what you're putting in there, right? So some of the vitamins are very expensive. So you're going to be very conscientious about how many drips you offer at once, because like I said, some of these drips expire, medications expire, and you don't want to lose those. So make sure people are buying them.
Yeah. So that will vary. Yeah. We'll be offering this webinar. Yes.
Are nurses independent providers or employees?
So all of my nurses are contract nurses. I don't do regular employees because it saves me money. It saves me money as a business not to have employees. So they're all 1099.
Right. But you also have to make sure that you tell the nurses that they are contract employees and they're responsible for their taxes. Oh, yeah.
They have contracts, and they do a W-9, and I give them a 1099 at the end of the year. So, yeah, everybody's on the same page about that. The contract that I do include that in the course. Also, the contract that they sign, though, it spells that out. You're a contracted person, not a regular employee. So yes.
How do you get the IV products? How do you select the formulas?
Well, I consulted with a pharmacist when I got started on formulas and cocktails, and I went to her. We talked about some of the goals that I had and what I wanted to do, and what kind of cocktails I wanted to come up with, and we put them together. And that's how I came up with those. So, and then as far as the IV products, you sign up with different businesses, different companies that offer those products. There are lots of medical supply companies out there, and we go over those, and we give you recommendations on who to sign up with and how to get signed up through them in the course.
So is the money due up front, or do you do payment plans? So for the basic course, that's a one-time fee because you get access to the entire course immediately. For the pro, we do have a payment plan stretched over 4 months. How do you create waivers?
Well, we offer our templates for waivers, but we do ask that you go and take them to your lawyer and have them look them over for you, so that they are state compliant for you. Okay, everybody's state may be a little bit different, so to have your lawyer in your state just look them over, it's going to save you a lot of money compared to them actually making a waiver from scratch for you. Okay, so yeah.
And a lot of these lawyers too, because you have to be careful which lawyer you pick, because they're specialists just like doctors and nurses, right? So you don't necessarily want the neurosurgeon delivering your baby, right? But in the same way for lawyers. So we actually are partnering with a law firm now that they are being very well schooled in IV hydration and all the different courses that we do, so that they know exactly what our nurses need. So we are also, again, collective power, right, of nurses we are negotiating with them down to get you the cheapest, easiest price that we possibly can.
Yeah.
Let's see, I live in Atlanta. There are a few IV hydration places here. How do I know if this area is already oversaturated?
I would say you don't know if the area is oversaturated. I don't think oversaturation is ever the problem. I think you choose a niche that is no one else is doing, or if you do it better, right? That's the goal, is to do it better. Then there's more than enough out there. There are more than enough people out there. If you look around, like look at the nail salons, there's a nail salon on every corner, right? And they're always full. Okay. So this IV hydration, it's not ever going to be oversaturated, not too much to start a new business for it. I'm very familiar with Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta, so I know exactly how Atlanta works down there. And I can tell you there's a lot of businesses down there that are duplicate type businesses, and they're always busy. You just have to know how to market your business, and you have to pick a niche that is needed. You have to solve the problem for the people, and you have to make sure they know you're there and ready to take them.
Yeah, and Atlanta's huge. It's massive.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if there were a drip lounge on every corner, again, the oncologist needs probably aren't being met. The oncology patients who maybe don't want to go out to the drip lounge and hang out with, the 22-year-olds who just came back from a party, right? Like that's just not. So, and they want it to be in their home, and same with hyperemesis, like if you connect with the OB. So, or the gyms and the races, and oh my gosh,
there's so much.
There's so many. Yeah, that's mind-blowing. The neurologist, like that headache niche is huge, guys. Like it's huge, and I don't think that anybody's really tapped into that.
No. And there are spas down there that are not doing IV hydration that you could build relationships. And if you have a mobile business, you can actually make weekly, regular times where you are at their place of business. You're not paying for it because it's their customers that you're servicing. I tell you how to be in all these places where you don't have to pay them.
Yeah. Okay. And actually, remember I had Sharmika had reached out to me because she owns a couple med spas down in Atlanta, and she was desperate to hire or to bring on as a partner an IV hydration nurse. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we only had one nurse, and she's like, "Nah, I'm not ready." So that there's so many opportunities there. Like they were desperate. She's begging me to send her a nurse that did IV hydration in Atlanta, and I didn't have anybody.
Right. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's lost cause. There's a lot of other med spas in Atlanta. There's plastic surgeons in Atlanta. It's a big hub for plastic surgery. And imagine that kind of pre-hydration, the glutathione, the post-hydration after surgery. I mean, oh my gosh.
And we do have market. It's a huge market.
Yeah, we have several concierge nurses down there in Atlanta that
partner with.
That you can partner with. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
The bariatric community is huge for concierge and IV hydration. So yeah, there are ways.
So is IV therapy covered by insurance?
Not usually. No, I don't take insurance. I don't know of any insurance companies that will pay for it. So, and I don't take it. So.
Okay. Somebody says, what is a hood?
Oh, okay. A hood is needed if you are mixing more than a certain amount of vitamins together. You're considered compounding. So you would need a hood because it's a sterile area with a particular airflow that's required for compounding. And we don't compound, we mix. So you don't have to have a hood.
Once the
course is paid for, do we have unlimited access to the information, or is it only available for a limited time?
Yeah, no. The information, the course itself, you have unlimited access for as long as we exist, right? Like, I can't promise we'll be here in 20 years, but, we've been here for 5 years and going strong. We're the longest running nurse coaching and business run that's out there. So yeah, we plan to keep doing this for years to come, and you have access for years to come. But I think that what's going to happen is you're going to set the business up in the next 90 to 120 days, and you know, you still have the community, but you're not going to need that information once the business is up and running, and you got like 5 locations open. Oh, I missed one that said, "Will the 2,500 pay for a logo and web page?" Those are separate. That's our design team that can do those for you, or we can make recommendations for other people as well. Let's see. How much experience do I need giving IVs?
Well, IV hydration business is all about IVs. So you definitely need some experience sticking people, because if you stick them more than, you know, once or twice every time, they're not going to come back to you. So you're going to retain clients by being a good sticker. So I would say it's pretty important.
Yeah, or hire nurses that are important as well.
Yes.
Right. Let's see. Any books you would recommend? Kimble, maybe you need to write one.
I think I will. I think because this is not the first question I've had related to an IV hydration book. I don't know of any, but I'm going to get to work on that.
Is this Mastermind Evergreen are available? So right now it's only available for a limited time. We opened, we do a launch on these. How many did we do last year? Like 3. We opened it 3 times last year.
Yep.
This is the second time this year that we have opened this. And right now, you know, we've got to plan the summer and the fall and see what happens. But because Kimble runs the coaching for the 12 weeks. The next one wouldn't be before, you know, the summer or like June.
July sometime, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are a lot of awesome questions. You know, this is great. If you have more questions, you can watch the replay of this immediately because it's on YouTube, which is great. You can put your questions in there. We'll continue to answer them. You can respond to any email that I send. If you have questions specifically for Kimble that I can't answer, I will certainly send them on to her and she will get back to you. And yeah, what else, Kimble? Anything else?
Other than the fact that, you know, I hope to see you guys. I want all of you that want to have an IV hydration business to have one. And I'm telling you, when you join the course and we get started, it's going to be so exciting. I promise you that. I love it. Every cohort is like starting the first one all over again. I get so excited.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Be sure to ask us whatever questions you need answered. Check out the testimonials on the website and all the different businesses that we've helped. That's just a fraction of them. We've had many nurses go through this program and be very, very successful. So we look forward to doing that for you as well.
Yeah, I'm so proud of them too. They are.
They're awesome.
And when they first started, they were all just like, you know, wow, is this really happening? But I'm halfway through, literally, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm so nervous. I have a business, you know, I have my first client. So yeah.
That's really scary. That first client is so scary. You're like, no, like yes, but no, but yes. You know,
yeah,
I don't know how to feel.
What's really important is not to forget to take their money, because I tell you, I did.
It's hard.
So, and if that's the least, you know, if that's your biggest problem, then you're doing good.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks so much.